Hi guys, hi IBK, hi Toyo. How you guys doing?
Good, I'm good.
I'm
stressed,
but we're fine.
What's happening?
Nigeria is stressful.
All right, guys. Is there anything you studied in university or anything you learned in primary school that you would have preferred not to learn, or is there something you feel like you would have preferred to learn in primary school or secondary school that you were not opportune to?
Well, for me, I wish they would have told me not to waste my parents' school fees, because honestly, 90% of
So I wish I was in tech, bro. Like I wish
am not using it right now.
I wish I
am
was in
relearning
tech.
what
Man.
as in, it's like you finish university, then you now come to the
What's
work
that learning?
organization. You just see that as in everything that you've learnt in school was just for theory.
Waste of my
And
time.
then you now
You know the
come
worst
and
part?
start
The
all over
worst
again.
thing is that in my case, right, I did primary school, I did secondary school, and I did uni, BSc, and then they made me do masters.
They made you. They forced you.
When it
They
comes to
made me do masters
no.
because left to me. At that time, my whole brain was on money, and then they made me do masters. But then I still
doing
went.
masters after school was good for you, because me, after making money for 3
You
years,
want
I had
to
to
do it
go
again.
back to do masters, and now I had to pay the school fees myself, and the struggle.
And
was
guess
real.
what? Like prices are now going up as well. So
True.
like I'm sure a master's degree
Talking
program.
about struggles, I went to a private uni for BSc.
Yeah.
Then going to a federal uni for masters, it was a different ballgame entirely.
So which one was better? Which one did you enjoy?
I would pick private school over and over again. Number one, the lecturers, when they're teaching you in school, the man is giving you history of what he learned in 1970.
But then do you even think there's a difference? I don't think there's a difference.
There
man.
is a
Private
difference.
school, public school, lecturers are the same.
So I went
They're still
to,
archaic, they still teach like the same old stuff. I think it happens, I think it applies
If
across
you went
board.
to a private school, you will not be saying
I
this.
did.
When you did, and
I
you
did.
feel that
I feel like
but
it's
you didn't go to a
exactly
federal
the
school. I think
same.
I didn't
she's
go
in
to
a
a
better
federal
position.
school.
Like
Yes,
she has
because
experienced
I
both
experienced
worlds.
both sides.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
And I can tell you, you go to classes, lecturers will not show up. Then 2 weeks to exam, somebody is coming with a bulk, like I can't even say how the handout is so heavy, and expect you to read, and they will not tell you that. It will not give you AOC or anything. It will not tell you.
But like, are they supposed to give you AOC? Like, are they supposed to give
in
you
the
AOC?
system that we are used to, we already know that lecturers that cannot come to class does not deserve to set exam for me. What do you want me to come and
True
write?
that.
Then in a private school, everything is as in it's so
Soft
different.
life.
But it's not great
somebody
either.
will
But it's not great
So you
either, in
learned
my opinion.
nothing at all from your masters. Nothing at all.
See, I read for my masters. I did not learn. They are two different things.
You
And
know,
not
you-
funny enough, it is those schools that they always claim. I don't know what they call themselves.
Education experts,
No,
like
not
Officer
education. No,
Best and best.
the guests are the best, whatever.
First and best.
Should I call
It can't
them?
be first and best. So
Should
first
I
and
call
best I know. Can never be.
See, I did my BS in Bowen University. I did my masters in Unilag, and I can tell you it was a waste of my time.
like the master's degree.
Yes.
I did BSc and masters both in private
honestly
universities, and I
speaking,
think that it's still a waste of time.
Their
either way.
curriculum, I think whatever my great.
So what do you think they should? What do you think they should have
First
taught
of all,
you?
I don't know. I don't think that you can cancel all of them like that, because I do know people that went to federal schools and they are like globally competitive now. Like they're doing very well. They can stand shoulder to shoulder.
I think-
are also globally competitive.
Yeah, I think that's a function
totally
of the
can't
individual
cancel it
themselves
now.
and not so much the school,
Yes,
right?
exactly,
You find
yes.
people that went to
Yes.
I think you find people that
Because
went
I
to
think
schools
those
that are
who
not
went
the
to
best,
federal
you know, and they're still doing great.
They are
for
even
themselves.
self-taught. They don't depend on what their lecturers tell them in school, because what they teach you is just basically book.
Well, it
You
sets
read
the
to
foundation
pass.
for what
No,
you
I
learn.
don't think there's any foundation that was set whatsoever. Are you doing what you studied in school at the moment?
No, but that's a matter of
So what
personal.
I'm
That's a matter of
saying,
personal
so are you
choice.
not relearning all over again
Well,
what
no,
you should
you
have
have
just
to
known?
keep learning.
I think that in schools
I think
they
that
should just scrap academics.
Personally,
They should scrap
That's-
I agree with
that's a
that.
bit
Honestly,
Personally, I think
they
that
should just
you know,
scrap
academics
books.
or
Academics is
like
just
formal
books.
school is not a function of how far you go in life, right? There's so many things that we have access to today. There's so many resources you have access to today, and I don't think that, to be honest, the four walls of a school are going to really prepare you for today's
It has
world.
never prepared anybody. and
Today's
not
world.
everything, it never
So you
prepare
won't
anybody
know because you've
tomorrow.
already gone to school. Ask someone that has not been to school before. They would see that
So,
you're privileged to actually.
The
While
school
I'm
you
not
went
completely
to,
against-
has it done anything for
It
you
did
right
do a
now?
lot.
What did it do for
While
you?
I'm not
You have
against,
to give me 3 points.
while I'm not against school in its entirety, I'm not against going to school, you know, to make connections. meet
Neither
people.
am I.
Like
I'm
at
only
least
saying that
foundation level
you should
school,
redirect
primary school,
the way you
secondary school,
teach.
right? But then you see uni, that's where I have a problem. Uni, I think a lot of people can do without, right? Unless you're taking or unless you're reading something that's very specialized.
If your problem is
medicine
only
law,
uni, my problem
you know.
is from primary
primary
school.
school.
I can say the reason why. Growing up, the way they taught us alphabet, A for apple, B for ball, C for cat. So I came to my sister's house for holidays one day. Then her daughter, who was in nursery 2, she was supposed to, they gave her homework. And I said, okay, as usual now, a normal person. Baby, then I said, okay, sit down, let's read this thing. And I said, A, and she's like, no. I said, Thomas, this is anal, as in, are you going to teach me? This is letter A, this is letter B. And she's like, no, auntie, that's not how we're taught. I'm like, okay, how are you taught? And she's like, A, ba, D. It was when she got to Q that I gave up. Kwa. I said, what is kwa? And then now, after the whole episode, I went to meet her sister. We bantered. I'm like, hey, look at the way they are teaching these students now. That I think if they are taught that way, it would have been very good.
Then it shows you that education is evolving.
It's evolving, but I don't think that we are still there yet.
Is it evolving across the board?
You can't
Again,
give what you
like
don't
I mentioned, like it's a function of privilege,
students,
right?
what do they have? The teacher that they also only learn so that they can instill that information, but they can't direct more than what they've also gone to learn.
That takes me back to my uni experience, right? I read accounting in BSc, to be honest, and accounting is a very funny course or a very funny program, right? They'll teach you debit and credit. They'll teach you
cost accounting,
all those kinds of weird things, right? But then you leave school, you now come into the workplace, right? And you're dealing with financial accounting and all these things, and then you're seeing things like interest income. Like, where did that come from? Do you get? They don't teach you. Sure, these guys went to school, they read all these things. They don't teach you how it is actually applied in a real life.
You know why they can't teach you? Because even
they don't know themselves.
They
don't know themselves. Their experience is limited.
It's not about
I think that their experience is limited.
There are two different ball games here.
Their experience is limited to a textbook. They really don't know anything outside.
Whose job is only to teach you from the textbook and nothing more. He has not worked with organizations who implement that.
Someone who learns the foundation that is not applicable in your real world.
So you're telling me that if you never, for example, that's what you're saying now, then means that a lawyer can go into accounting without
100% a lawyer can go into accounting.
Do you know that a lot of people
it's a function of your effort,
said
really,
that they've had to study?
So your efforts that you could have diminished in uni. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So the time frame to take you to learn as a non-accountant will be more than that should take an
Agreed.
So I beg to differ on this.
Agreed.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because I have had people who do not have any prior knowledge about some particular field, like data science, like accounting, and they go just only YouTube can help you,
100%.
and then you become a pro.
100%.
Honestly, all you need is just do one course on YouTube, do one course on Coursera, go to Udemy, and then you become.
I understand what I'm saying.
Now somebody who paid 1 point what? How much do you pay for your
I hear you, but this is it. If both of us we go to school today, you learn data analysis, I learn biology, for example, and then you learn what you learn, you cannot apply it in class in your workplace, for example, and both of us now decide that we want to become data analyst Pro Max, data analyst Pro Max, then you now start taking YouTube classes.
You think I'm going to do better than you?
No, I'm not saying better, but I'm saying you will learn faster than I will. Because I'll have to start learning the basics.
No. So I think it would take you the same amount of time. It would take you, yes, you're just starting later. You're just starting later. And by the way, she's even right, because resources have evolved, right? You might learn faster, but then you still have to commit the time the other person committed.
It will be easier for
sure.
her
to
learn.
Her learning faster. She might learn faster because at this point you don't have any bias.
True,
nobody has instilled one formula.
Yeah, exactly.
Traditional way to learn.
No unlearning. You're just learning.
I have to unlearn what I've spent 4 years.
There's no unlearning. You're just learning.
I see that everything was totally rubbish now.
Can I ask a question?
Can I ask a question? I see that Toyosi, who just did law in school, is now here trying to do.
Do you get? She's rubbing soda with. Do you get? Rubbing soda with you. Can I ask you something, right? While we speak on education evolving, right? From what I see, right, in today's educational system, right, I think that lots of people that are supposed to be giving out this education, lecturers, teachers, what have you, right? I don't know how much of today's resources they actually deploy in teaching students, right? So you find that, like even down to blackboards, or down to, the technology difference between blackboards and like laptops and presentations and stuff. You find lecturers still coming to class dictating notes to students in uni in 2000 and
to their old ways.
come on.
Some people
come on.
Okay, so
how do you expect those people
I can't even
how do you expect those people to be aware? How do you expect those people to grow?
It's really mundane. If you move from blackboard to whiteboard, it doesn't change anything.
It doesn't change anything. But then, like, come on.
It's just a resource to me.
Even in terms of like,
even my own is that does not define education revolving to me.
Okay.
Education is in the curriculum itself, and I don't think that anything has changed. I think if I go and take my mother's notebook when she went to university and I compare it with mine,
what you're doing
if
now.
we are privileged to do the same course, it will be the same thing.
You know, I have heard that they've added
in 10
like
years,
maybe
that child is also
going
going
to learn the same thing. No, I think that negates what you said earlier, that your niece is not learning book.
So again, privilege comes into
so
play.
privilege.
Privilege.
No, eventually you now see that it costs. It may take time, but eventually everything will evolve.
Now, if you want to put everything on a kid, spread everything together. How many private schools do you have? How many people can afford those private schools? At the end of the day, the people who are getting less of the education that they are supposed to get are people who are in public schools, or even people who are in below.
You know, the wild thing is that if we look at Nigeria's out of school children today,
I don't think it's evolving as much as we are supposed to.
Majority of Nigerians are not even in school in the first place.
And then the only reason is because they have the resources to do that.
But you know that there are more private schools than secondary schools than public schools.
So
if we really deep it. So actually,
probably that's true.
They are in Lagos today.
No, private schools.
Probably that's true.
There's low budget private schools.
Exactly. There's classes to them for sure. 100%.
Public school, honestly, because
no private school is as good as you.
Can you take a child to a school that they are paying 35,000 and it's a private school?
It's not no.
Can you even take a child to a school that they are paying 100,000 naira per day?
It's not like
exactly. So that don't say private school. Let us that low budget, but let us give them a name. We don't categorize them as
low budget private school.
Let's give them a name. So just take them out of that equation. So they're standard private school.
So can I now ask you something? What do you now think that they should be teaching in schools, right, to catch up with the times? What do you
from
think?
Primary to uni.
What do you think
with the change of things right now, it should be more about, as in technology has taken everything. They should infuse technology in these teachings.
Everybody can't be a test bro now. Come on.
No,
really?
Everybody cannot, but at least using as little as all these interactive
technologies. You know, that's what I was
students. Those are the ways that you can get people to understand. How will a child be in primary school?
I don't know what mouse is or
what even a laptop is.
So
I think we're still using desktop. As in this, what they call it, CPU.
What they have now.
You see that they still use that one to teach them. Central post.
Actually, you know, I'm also thinking, right? Things like, I mean, today you find like lots of young people making money off things like social media marketing, you know, influencing. I feel like those are things that you can incorporate into your academic curriculum to actually teach people to make something out of themselves.
There are several factors. If you want to evolve the educational system, there's a part of the government. That's it. I don't even want to delve into.
Let's not go to.
But for individuals,
let's not even go.
I think that Nigerians are just too lazy to equip themselves.
No, I think we're going ahead of ourselves. We're jumping into let's use technology. For me, what I would have loved to learn in secondary school was probably how to sew, how to homemaking, those baking, for example. So I did home economics in secondary school, but what we did was all of us contribute money. Our home economics teacher.
No practicals and stuff.
No. So
I think we did. When I was in secondary school, like we actually baked stuff and like cooked and
like be exposed to a lot of things. Learn home decor, learn programming, learn all those things. Let there be options.
I think we need to incorporate.
But then who would teach you programming?
Intelligence.
In secondary schools.
Honest, those two things.
In secondary schools.
Yes.
In Nigeria, you want people to be emotionally intelligent.
Even the teacher said.
I'm telling you, Dego.
That's what I'm saying. From the teacher to this, because that's why you need the teacher to be equipped to have emotional intelligence.
As long as we have this respect your elders,
students should be
culture in Nigeria.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
So you know that emotional intelligence is not something you come across on the road. You have to give yourself to it and learn it. So as you are assuming that you have knowledge on it. Let me just assume that you have knowledge on emotional intelligence. Would you go and teach in a school?
Yes, I can.
Or would you? Let's assume
you can. If
you're
earning minimum wage, you're earning minimum wage.
No, naturally speaking, I am not gifted with children, so don't.
Okay, even in uni, you're teaching adults. You're teaching adults in uni.
Yes, I could.
You go and teach them emotional intelligence.
Yes, I can lecture.
So you're saying it's not a manpower issue? Like we have people that are willing to do these things.
But are they well taken care of?
So nobody would want to go
are they well taken care of?
Now,
are we taking care of our teachers?
I want to go and be a lecturer.
The recurring ASU strike that is always
you do get.
However, no.
Are they being well
let
taken
us
care
say it. ASU is always justified from my own point of view whenever they want to go on strike. There's no problem about that. But I think that sometimes they always
sacrifices must be made, in my opinion.
What
is
sacrifices must be made.
Because they know what the situation is. And your demands sometimes are always ridiculous. I'm not saying that.
My opinion, those who are responsible for the situation on ground should fix it. Right? You're jeopardizing the lives of students.
But the people who are responsible do not care. So what do you want to do?
They have to start caring. Essentially, they have to start caring.
I think at this point in time, if you can pay 200,000 naira to send someone to secondary
go to private schools,
no, it's not even private school. If you can pay 200,000,
you get quality secondary school education.
Then when you get to university, be able to pay more than that.
Well, it cuts across board. Even as a lawyer or as a doctor,
I feel all these universities we go to, as long as if you don't study, and I feel people too. I think our parents have been a problem because many people are in school studying what
their parents want them to study.
But I thank God for my own generation. I am a millennial. Yes.
We still had the same issue.
Eventually, we still have the same issue.
You
want your child to code, but like it's not totally relevant.
So what's the sense of you studying accounting to help computer to calculate on their behalf?
Of course, I feel like you need to know the structure for things, right? You need to know the principal standards and all of that. Those things are things that are nuanced in accounting. An understanding of those things is still necessary, right? But then there will be technology to assist you with it, right? So I think it'll still be important.
No. To me, the only reason why accounting will be important is because even in Nigeria, if they bring that AI tomorrow, just a few will be able to afford it. So you that studied accounting in school, me as a small business might not be able to. But however, you can see that people in tech are still looking for ways to build applications that are applicable to small businesses and that won't cost them a lot. So at the end of the day,
someone with an understanding needs to operate those things still.
You really cannot take out.
So what will your accounting knowledge in Nigeria help you? You think that your accounting knowledge will help you function?
Can you say that? Can you say the same thing for medicine? Like
no, because
at some point you phase out
my own side of technology is that
phase out lawyers.
If I am a business person and I need to do my bookkeeping, all you need to do is to impute figure. The system does the entire process.
Now. You still need base level understanding.
You do not need an accountant.
You need base level understanding of the structure and principle of things. It is very important,
then
regardless of whatever. Exactly. Now that's where other knowledge comes in, or that's where other channels of knowledge come in, right? That's where other channels of knowledge come in. Anyway, now my view, Sha. That's my opinion. Still.
This now my view, and don't forget to subscribe.